Guys, this is the last Schitt's Creek video? Oh, say it ain't so! Indeed, they capped this series off with one of the most satisfying endings I can remember for some time. So let's get right into it. Guys, my name is Zack. As you guys know, I love discussing cinema, all things television, all things entertainment. I really do appreciate you guys stopping by the channel today. I really hope you enjoy your stay, because judging from how sad I was at the top of this video, we are wrapping up the Schitt's Creek playlist by looking at the final season, which came out on Pop last year, season 6. Yeah, I finished it. I told you guys I would. And to anyone who thought otherwise, I realize this sounds very forced, but I had to put this in there. Anyone who thought I wouldn't finish this would be incorrect. Oh, I'm gonna miss doing that. And as is the case with all of my Schitt's Creek reviews so far, and by the way, just in case you missed them, I will go ahead and put together a whole playlist just talking about Schitt's Creek for you guys so you can catch up. But like those other 5 videos, this one is going to be filled with some spoilers. I've warned you. Some storylines in season 6 show that the Roses are achieving success in their careers and personal lives, which forces them all to contemplate their inevitable next steps. But as their pursuits push them closer towards their long-awaited escape from Schitt's Creek, the Roses see how connected their lives have become to the small town along with its residents. And obviously, when they're faced with the decision whether or not to stay or leave, amazingly enough, it is harder than they would have ever expected. Now, Johnny, once again masterfully played by Eugene Levy, takes on a second motel, but as the costs start to pile up, he worries it may have been a huge mistake. And that's one of the big arcs we see from Johnny, is him and Stevie trying to extend their business to include thousands of roadside motels, basically trying to franchise. But when they actually do fly to New York to present their idea to this group of investors, they start laughing at Johnny because they still see him as a failure from Rose Video. And I love how Roland, of all people, is the one to call them out on their bullshit. And that's honestly such a welcome surprise and a nice change of pace for Chris Elliott, who has been so funny with this series for so long. Honestly brought me one of my favorite scenes is where he goes in just to get his suitcase back and he starts tearing into these guys. So amazing. And meanwhile, Moira's Crows movie has thrust her back into the limelight, but when she passes on a major opportunity, she fears she's lost it all once again. Now let's just say that Catherine O'Hara and the Moira character in general have been a huge mixed bag for me throughout these 5 preceding seasons. And there were times where I would find Moira insufferable, but honestly guys, I think this season shows us that this is Catherine O'Hara's funniest character since Beetlejuice. She carries herself so well, and she has a lot of really fun gimmicks thrown in that I'm sure O'Hara was psyched to be playing with. For example, how about the release of the Crows at her movie premiere? Or better yet, her and David at that winery sampling different kinds of Moira Rosé, all of which they hate. So funny, guys. And I'm telling you, just like the 5 preceding seasons, the writing for season 6 is second to none. But let's once again talk about the brilliant Annie Murphy as Alexis, who's focusing on her publicity work while Ted is in the Galapagos, and much to her surprise, her career begins to take off, which unfortunately means that the long distance catches up with Alexis and Ted. I was certainly sad to see them split because they shared one of the most interesting dynamics and relationships throughout the whole series. And I actually thought the way Ted was written off was rather beautiful and poetic. Definitely will bring a tear to many an eye. But this also opens the door for new friendships and relationships to take center stage for Alexis. Like the one with Twyla at the cafe, who it was revealed won the lottery. $92 million! How convenient is that? But it's actually a super inspiring message that the whole storyline gives the viewer. Money isn't everything. It's all about doing what makes you smile. And Twyla as a character is the personification of that message. And last but not least, my friends, I gotta talk about the other Rose sibling, David Rose, obviously my favorite character, no contest whatsoever. Dan Levy really carried this show for me. I was invested the most in his character and his journey. I thought he was the funniest out of everybody, and truth be told, he did not disappoint me in the farewell. With a wedding in sight, David throws all of his energy into the planning, but when he and Patrick once again played with a lot of comfortable approachability by Noah Reid clash on their vision of their future together, David is forced to confront the facts that marriage is just more than a wedding. And let me just say that their chemistry is fantastic once again. And I don't think this is something that's touched on enough about Schitt's Creek, but I love how a lot of their talks this season about important topics come up by pure accident. For example, there's an episode early on in the season where Patrick gets his wisdom teeth pulled, and he is absolutely absolutely loopy on this laughing gas. And Noah Reid hilariously throws in a lot of one-liners while he's on that laughing gas, and it really throws that relationship for a 180, because David is usually the more, like, I don't know, like the more paranoid of the two, I guess you could say. Patrick is definitely the more grounded between them. So I thought that was a really nice dynamic shift. And let's just say that seeing them tying the knot was pure poetry in motion. Which brings me to the series finale titled Happy Ending. It was utterly perfect in my opinion. It's not only the show as we remember it, with loads of curveballs thrown at our favorite characters, especially David with a huge rainstorm becoming a huge obstacle for his wedding, leading to one of my favorite over-the-top comedic reactions of any TV show. It was just... it was awesome. But they acquiesce. It takes place in Town Hall. Moira hilariously presides over the happy occasion with tears in her eyes, and it's incredibly emotional. It was, God, so good. And the final scene where Johnny and Moira drive away to Los Angeles, Eugene Levy taking one last look at the town sign he was appalled by in season 1, but this time with the Rose family plastered all over it in the most crude way possible, and he can't help but smile. Sorry if I sound like a broken record if I keep using this word, but that is such a poetic way to tie a little bow on everything. And guys, what a way to wrap up what I consider one of the greatest sitcoms of the 2010s. Now, does that mean I think season 6 is perfect? I wish I could say so, but unfortunately there were a few things that really held this season back for me. They honestly kind of derailed the momentum of everything going on. For example, there's an episode where Alexis tries to get some of the ladies to sign up for what looks to be a fitness program, but it turns out to be this cult of some sort, and I wasn't really getting behind that storyline. I didn't really think it was that funny. But thankfully there are some gimmicks to offset all that stuff that I didn't really find as hilarious. Like, there's a bachelor party that takes place in an escape room themed after the Galapagos, and as a fan of escape rooms, that really put a smile on my face. And just to clarify, I'm a fan of actual escape rooms, you know, not the movies, which are shit. Yeah, if you want the actual escape room experience, go to a real escape room. It is so much more worth your time. So although this is not my personal favorite season, if I were to really think about it, if I had to choose one, I think that distinction would go to season 5, but there is no doubt in my mind that this season was a perfect way to cap off such a hilarious show. I'm gonna give Schitt's Creek season 6 an A. Eugene and Dan Levy should both be insanely proud of this. I sincerely had such a blast going on this trip with the Roses to this small town, and they're the underdogs, they're the fish out of water in this scenario, and I really loved seeing them adapt to the situation and overcome all the hurdles that they were faced with. And I can't wait to revisit the show down the line. But of course, this is all just my opinion. What do you guys think of Schitt's Creek? What is your guys' favorite season? Who is your favorite character? Feel free to make some noise down in the comment section below. Let's talk all things Schitt's Creek. I loved making this content for you guys and discussing cinema and all things entertainment. So if these feel like topics you want to discuss further along with me, then do consider hitting that subscribe button down below as hard as you possibly can, because it's totally free. It would be really beneficial to really help get this content out there. And you know what else will really help get these videos out there to more people is if you hit that thumbs up on your way out. That would be amazing, guys. And as per, stay tuned for more exciting content hitting this channel very soon. I'm gonna be checking out Venom Let There Be Carnage, unfortunately, this weekend. Really not looking forward to that, but I really am looking forward to really relaying my thoughts with you guys, because, man, why is it PG-13? Why? But I'm also going to be wrapping up my Daniel Craig James Bond playlist by looking at Spectre this Wednesday, September 29th. And stay tuned for the start of my Halloween playlist. I've got a great list of a dozen films to look at over the scary season. We're going to be starting off with a classic, a timeless one at that matter. To commemorate the 90th anniversary, we're looking at Frankenstein starring Boris Karloff this Friday, October 1st. So stay tuned for all this exciting content and much more. You guys are the best. I really am so thankful to have your guys' support up to this point. And with all that being said, back talk, commence.